What up, Coordination? How you doing? Today on the pod, we are talking to GovernorDAO, which has a few different primary objectives. They're trying to incentivize and maximize engagement of all of their participants in their ecosystem, and are trying to do that with a thing called proof of existence, which is a Sybil resistance tool which helps create more one human, one vote systems. If you are new to the Green Pill podcast, you may not know it, but we are in the middle of season 2, which is all about decentralized identity and Sybil resistance. So GovernorDAO has been working on proof of existence, which is a KYC-free biometric enrollment of face and voice that creates an irreversible hash, which is basically a character string that is a unique identifier for a person. This biometric data is a one-way hash, and it is used in order to create a one human, one vote system on chain. So continuing our streak of talking about decentralized identity and Sybil resistance, we're talking to GovernorDAO about governance as a service and proof of existence. If you're into Sybil resistance, I think you'll really enjoy this episode. If you're not, maybe one to skip over. But I think Sybil resistance is one of the most important problems in the Web3 space right now. How can we go from one token, one vote systems to one human, one vote systems? That is the design space that we are exploring in season 2 of the Green Pill podcast, and we are exploring with GovernorDAO this week. So without further ado, I give you GovernorDAO.
The Opera crypto browser is the world's first web browser built for the crypto community. With Web3 support and a non-custodial wallet, Opera lets you access DeFi apps quickly and easily. The Opera wallet has buy, sell, and swap features, and of course lets you view your beautiful NFTs, but the browser still lets you use any crypto wallet extension you prefer, giving you the choice and flexibility for the Web3 world. Opera lets you view and manage all of your assets across all the blockchains all at once, and offers seamless multi-chain support between Ethereum, Bitcoin, Polygon, Binance Chain, and other EVMs and Layer 2s. But Opera goes even deeper than that. Opera has a built-in homepage for crypto natives with the Opera Crypto Corner, with price charts, news feeds, NFT updates to make sure you are always on top of your game. And it even has Discord and Telegram integrated natively into the browser. That's crazy. Opera is truly building the battle station for the crypto world. Check out Opera both on mobile with Android and iOS apps, and on desktop too. Immutable X is the Layer 2 platform for crypto gaming. Immutable offers massive scalability with up to 9,000 transactions per second and instant transaction confirmation. No more gas fees, no more waiting around for your transaction to clear. Immutable's zero-knowledge rollup finally unlocks the world of crypto gaming. Immutable X is the only gas-free NFT minting platform with over 26 million NFTs minted, all with zero gas fees. With the power of Immutable, gaming developers don't also need to become smart contract developers. They just need to plug in to Immutable's API and instantly start unlocking the full potential of crypto assets inside of games. This is why world-class companies and projects have decided to deploy on Immutable X, like GameStop, Ember Sword, Planet Quest, Illuvium, TikTok, and many more behind the scenes. So start building your game on Immutable X today at immutable.com.
Alrighty. What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining me.
Great to be here.
How's it going? Thanks for having us.
Really excited to talk about GovernorDAO. Can you tell me what GovernorDAO's use case is and how y'all came to build it?
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, so GovernorDAO is primarily an anti-Sybil resistance mechanism created for a variety of use cases. We wanted to have a fast, easy, and anonymous way that doesn't require any KYC in order to stop Sybil attacks and the vectors that come out of them. There's as far as how we kind of came about. I had previously worked for a biometrics company called Finovant about 2.5 years ago. After getting out of there and coming back to the blockchain world, we had kind of collaborated and realized that there was a real use case for merging the two technologies and getting them in one place. I think Jeff can kind of expand on that.
Yeah, the broader ideology behind GovernorDAO is the notion that we think decentralization is good. We think DAOs are good when done right. It's very hard to do decentralization right. It's very hard to do DAOs right. And we try to help people do it better. Our proof of existence, the Sybil resistance tech that Jon highlights, and probably what we'll spend most of today talking about, is our biggest flagship build out. And it's everyone throughout the crypto space has problems with Sybil, and there's so much cool, inspired, nuanced things projects could be doing if they could come at Sybil resistance from a place of confidence. And we have other stuff we built on top of it: NFT mints, token launches, governance voting modules, all that good stuff.
Beautiful. So, Green Pill is actually in the middle of a deep, deep rabbit hole on decentralized identity and Sybil resistance. And I think most of our listeners are pretty familiar with Sybil resistance, but just for the avoidance of doubt, it's sock puppet resistance. So, how do we basically increase the cost of forgery and make sure that people aren't making up new accounts? And then what that allows you to do is move from one token, one vote systems, which are inherently plutocratic, to one human, one vote systems, which are more democratic. So, any objections to that overview of the Sybil resistance problem? I'd be curious how you would frame it.
One voice, one vote is literally our kind of our
Mm.
catchphrase. So I mean, you summed it up very well. I usually just say, a person appearing to be more than one, or variants of that. So I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. I think it summed it up very well.
I think outside of the crypto centric use cases, it's just sometimes you don't want bots. Sometimes you want one person gets one account. That's applicable to gaming, social media, pretty much everything we do online in some way or another.
Right. So I'd be curious, can you take us down the rabbit hole of proof of existence in GovernorDAO? How does that work? And what does it look like for a developer to integrate with proof of existence?
John, do you want to explain the tech and I'll explain the blockchain?
Yeah, sure. So, proof of existence came out of a previous software called SATEC, right? SATEC's created by Finovant, a partner company of ours that's used in various banking applications, mostly outside of the U.S., but there's quite a few of them, especially in South America, Africa, some places in Europe. And this tech was used in call centers first. You call your bank. Bank of America, let's say that's not a place, but you call up your bank and they're able to verify that, okay, this person's the same person that talked to us last time, that talked to us before then, so on and so forth, and they can get a score of that. From there, it had moved into an application format where same type of thing for mobile banking. You were able to verify with voice and face in order to perform large transactions or kind of administrative type things on business accounts. We had taken that same style of tech and put it on the chain pretty much. So although no inherent portion of the API is obviously on chain, that kind of still exists how it was initially. Currently, the actual POV token itself, is obviously handled on chain. So the basic chain of events is a user comes to GovernorDAO, to our website. They take a short series of video clips. They say a phrase, and locally on their machine, the API hashes, or JavaScript hashes, I should say, their voice and face data into Keka Cache. That's deployed to an environment, a server environment that is quite secure. In which case, then we are able to fingerprint against that in the future. When future verifications come in, it uses a best of two scenario. So it literally says, okay, this is what you looked like and sounded like on day one. This is what you look like and sound like today. And not only does it verify with today's against day one, it's also going to update to some extent to make it flexible. So, there's a lot of use case scenarios where people kind of have outliers. What happened if I got into a car accident or something else? We try our best to mitigate those with this kind of learning live technology.
Yeah, and then specifically for how it relates to the blockchain, we compare that output hash, that is your summary of your biometrics, against everyone else who has signed up. If your hash is unique from all the other hashes, it means you haven't signed up before. It means this is your first time in the authentication portal. The wallet that you're signed into when you go through this is now eligible to mint a soul bound or a non transferable ERC20 that we call POE. And so we take all the recent enrollments, batch it. We bots take all the recent enrollments, batch it into a Merkle tree, plug that Merkle tree into a Minter smart contract, and then you can go in and mint your POE token. It's anchored to your wallet. indefinitely into the future. And then for any developer out there, all you have to do to human gate your interaction, your smart contract call, whether it's an NFT mint or a token sale or a yield farm, or anything you want to do in Web3, you just append the function, the contract call, the Web3 JS front end sign in with one line of code that checks for a balance of this ERC20 token. And a lot of people ask us, why not an NFT? Because an NFT is more conducive to like identity, and it seems like it's more apples to apples. But with the ERC20 token, that's the easiest to integrate. Uh, it's like the atom of Web3 smart contracting. It's the easiest for any project, anyone out there, to permissionlessly append their code and check for that. And the ease of access for both people signing up and developers to integrate is really what we wanted to push for when we created this.
Got it. Okay, so it sounds like GDAO proof of existence is KYC free. There's a biometric enrollment of face and voice that creates an irreversible hash, which kind of turns it's a one-way hash. So basically, it turns it into a character string, which cannot be converted back into the video data because it's a one-way conversion. And
Correct.
then that's for security measures, and it also probably compresses the data. From there, there's a Merkle tree that creates a balance of an ERC20 token, and anyone that wants to build on top proof of existence can just make sure that you have a balance of that token before you access that smart contract. Is that a good summary?
Correct. ERC20 balance of equals 1 for, developers out there.
Right. Okay. Cool. And which chain is this on? Is this on the Ethereum mainnet? Is it on other chains?
Right now, we are on Ethereum, Polygon, Rinkeby, and Kava, where because the enrollment is off-chain stuff that we push on-chain, we can do it on any EVM chain. And so basically, we just duplicate the Minter smart contract and the token smart contract. Any chain you want to opt in to have your PoE token on, you mint it on that chain.
And really, just for clarity, I mean, we could technically be on every EVM chain right now. It's really that grants process, which, Kevin, I'm sure you're quite aware of, where, we kind of have to queue up beforehand and work with them, So, I mean, whereas this could be like a weekend deployment for us, in theory, at least, kind of working hand in hand with people like Kava in order to make sure we get, our piece of the grant, for example. That's kind of what stops us from pulling it all off this weekend, for instance.
Cool. Yeah, it makes sense given Ethereum's modular architecture to be able to deploy to new chains depending on who needs to depend on you on different chains.
Absolutely.
I'm curious what kind of applications you've seen built on top of this.
Yeah, a lot of the first stuff we've done is internally within our own community. So we've created or we sponsored a handful of one per person NFT mints. We use it to democratize governance in our own DAO. We have a quadratic formula that is very similar to Gitcoin, but rather than using the passport, we use our own technology. And outside of our project, we typically see it people who want to do more provably decentralized project launches. So an NFT mint where I want to make sure someone's not buying up all the supply. A token launch where I only want someone to get so many of the tokens. Most of what we've done has been within the realm of friends and family. And that's a byproduct of us being a very small fair launch, no tokens sold, a DAO that we're kind of just a volunteer collective that started from scratch. And it's been a very grassroots approach to building out the application.
For sure. I think there, to also understand, we have our liquidity generation events and multiple other kind of services packed in here. And all of that's very modular in the sense that all of them that I can think of off the top of my head are all have a PoE component. You can kind of add that into the market basket, if you will. So, you can run any of our other services as well, kind of with or without PoE. So because of that, basically the majority of use cases out there, someone is approaching us about one of those other services, and then we can hook that in. So, at the moment, we are talking to quite a few people to hook this into regulatory level type stuff, as well as kind of everything in between. But there hasn't been this long laundry list of big names that have kind of hooked this in already, to be transparent.
COINSHIFT is a leading treasury management and infrastructure platform for DAOs and crypto businesses who need to manage their treasury operations. Every crypto org needs to manage their treasury, and COINSHIFT offers a simple, flexible, and efficient multi-chain treasury management platform built on top of the extremely secure Gnosis Safe. With COINSHIFT, your organization can go from primitive single-chain treasuries to expressive, flexible, multi-chain features such as global user management, global contracts, proposal management, and many other features that can be shared across an entire organization. COINSHIFT layers on powerful treasury management tools on top of the proven security of Gnosis Safe, allowing users to save time and reduce operational burdens and gas costs. COINSHIFT even has data tools like account reporting across the 7 chains on which it operates. Used by industry powerhouses such as Uniswap Grants, Balancer, Consensus, and Messari, COINSHIFT is speeding up the coordination and efficiency of the organizations that use it. In DeFi, you have to keep up with the frontier, and COINSHIFT makes that easy. So sign up at coinshift.xyz/bankless. ReFi summer has arrived, and CELO is here for it. CELO is the layer 1 blockchain for the regenerative finance movement. It's fast, planet positive, and built for the real world. CELO has committed towards producing a sustainable future from the very beginning, and is the world's first carbon negative, EVM compatible layer 1 blockchain. CELO has become much more than a technology, a currency, a community, or even just a layer 1. CELO is a movement to create conditions of prosperity for everyone. You can soon engage with all of this via green asset Uniswap pools on CELO, benefiting reforestation and other regenerative products through the Toucan protocol, Moss, and more. ReFi is also about the health of communities, and Resource Network is creating bankless infrastructure for circular trade and mutual credit networks to benefit small businesses and local economies, all on CELO. Follow along on Twitter to learn more about how CELO is accelerating ReFi Summer for a positive impact on people, communities, and the planet. If you're attending ECC, visit the CELO Saloon to learn about what's happening on the front lines of ReFi from industry experts.
I was looking into y'all's toolkit, and it sounds like you have something called Governance as a Service, a toolkit that includes a NFT launchpad and then a few other tools.
For sure.
So are these all things that are sort of built on top of proof of existence or adjacent to it?
Yeah, they're all adjacent. They run in parallel. So, it's pretty much kind of like what I had just said. So you have the airdrop functionality, you have the liquidity generation event functionality. We have everything from, consulting, advising, engineering, as well as part of that governance as a service, kind of as an aside, set up pretty complex governance systems for all different scenarios. And, that modularization of PoE can be plugged in or left alone or added in the future for all of these. So, governance as a service itself is exactly what it sounds like. That's setting up governance systems for new, existing, or soon to come DAOs and ecosystems. Just because we were actually there on day one as a legal entity DAO in Wyoming, and have had a lot of experience in the kind of setting this up. Have had a lot of the growing pains, and we recognize that quite a few projects out there that were doing much better than us sometimes had kind of flimsy governance systems or could be improved upon. And that's kind of what we look to corner in and kind of take that out of the equation.
Great. So what do you think a world looks like in which y'all are maximally successful? I mean, take me forward 5 or 10 years. What's sort of the end game here?
Yeah. Our intention is to help everyone do decentralization better. With that, every step of the way, we make a good friendship, a good relationship. We have a good partner. We keep some ownership in their project as part of our business model. We cross-pollinate our communities. The end goal for GovernorDAO is like this. I picture it as like this big octopus of, we have GovernorDAO and we have our tentacles out and touching all these different projects, and we help them be better and we help them grow bigger and scale, and it all comes back to us.
Yeah, I think that really the end game, that 5 or 10 years, is that over that time, both or PoE as it currently stands, assuming that you don't need the consulting in order to get it plugged in or whatever. I mean, it is a single line of code. It's pretty basic for most developers. That's a free service as far as, public PoE. So, anyone can hook that in. And I think that as time goes on and as we, better communicate the security behind this and implementation factor and why this is so important, that will really scale up, over the next 5 to 10 years. And as Jeff mentioned, I'd really like to see that, commingling of many projects using technology similar to this in order to make democratic voting as well as kind of democratic functions much more of a placeholder within the space.
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I think that, Sybil resistance is obviously really high upside for the ecosystem. If we can, as an ecosystem, move to more one human, one vote type systems, then I think that just creates so many more use cases for everyday people, not just the ones who are moneyed to use these systems. So I'm a huge proponent of Sybil resistance systems getting more and more prominence. And there's a really neat network effect here where the more people can get rewards for verifying their identity, the more people will verify their identity, and the more people verify their identity, the more DApps will create rewards for those things. So it's just a really beautiful flywheel, and I think the sum of GovernorDAO and all the other Sybil resistance tools in the ecosystem could really help spin that flywheel together.
Yeah, that's exactly how we're trying to how we incepted proof of existence and how we'd like to see it build out.
Yeah, I think really, and I can't remember exactly who wrote it, but when I think of all this, I really consider there was an article written, I think it was by Autonopolis, if I remember correctly. It was kind of, a paradox of what blockchain would look like today with Sybil resistance in place since day one, similar to, TradFi. And it was really interesting kind of to see some of the parallels there and how, something as simple as yield, when you look into kind of how these functions operate and, how much is taken off the playing field because of, Sybil actors. I mean, it gets really interesting to see how much stronger and how much more rewarding the ecosystem can be, as well as how much more, straightforward it can be. And I mean, even recent airdrops at, high levels, seeing how much these have been gamified and how much this has really kind of blown a hole in some of these governance tokens that are dropped and everything else. I think that technology like this is simple, it's modular, and can solve these problems in real time at a level that's previously not really able to hook into. So it's something I'm definitely looking forward to that future.
Yeah, same. Well, is there anything that I didn't ask that y'all want to say?
Well, I think the only thing really is just to highlight that, this is really the kind of the core service, as you had mentioned, but there's much more going on at GovernorDAO. There's a lot of other product service suites there. And, at the end of the day, I think that getting people to just take a look at Sybil resistance in general, which, I mean, if they're listening to this podcast, I'm sure they already have. But, getting people to look at that, as well as getting people to understand that, how important this is in this space in order for us to kind of get over the next major hump. I think that that's really key here. And there is a lot of technologies that can, take this out of the picture. But I would say that the scalability aspect, as well as the ease of kind of throwing this into the mix, is really key for projects that are already existing and for projects as they kind of come out in real time. So all these are kind of key components of how we built this and how this was put out there. And I think it's all really worth saying.
Beautiful. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing GovernorDAO grow. I know that Gitcoin DAO, which I'm involved in some ways, has recently relaunched Gitcoin Passport. So hoping to see an integration between those two projects in the future, and hopefully the Sybil resistant ecosystem grows together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
I think we've recently established contact with Gitcoin, and I think just within the past few days we got their information regarding how we build out the integration. It's definitely on our
to-do list.
Priority list.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's what happens when you travel.
I know.
Where can people find GovernorDAO and Proof of Existence online?
Yeah, so quite a few places, but GovernorDAO.org, GovernorDAO.org. We have only one me, so exactly how it sounds, only one me.governordao.org will bring you to the POE portal, as well as passport.governordao. I would highly recommend that people use the passport interface to not only kind of test it, but also mint one, if you will. That's kind of the one-stop shop. Besides that, we have all the basic socials. Docs.governordao, docs.governordao has kind of a very good overview of all the different components. So most certainly that's where I would point people towards. Zane, I don't think I'm missing any.
We've got, for people who are just interested in the Sybil resistance tech, we have a landing page, proofofexistence.xyz, and that's a dedicated homepage just to explain Sybil resistance and proof of existence.
As well as the stipend POC, but that's kind of, I guess that's something that will be kind of coming very, very soon. We have a kind of proof of case scenario for yield as well as UBI, if you will, on Kava. So that's something that we'll have a permanent resting place relatively soon to link people to. So
sounds great. Well, I think we'll put some of those links in the show notes, and we'll definitely look forward to seeing proof of existence grow. So thanks so much for coming on the pod, guys.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Kevin. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having us.